want to take a closer look at placing shared cells, which is really no different from placing an unshared cell, except that the display of the cell's name in the Cell Library dialog box is a little different. Try this with me. I have the Sample2 cell library attached, and take a look at the Where column, which tells you where the cell is at the moment. And in each case it says Library. Let's turn on Shared Cells. We'll select the North cell for placement, and we'll place the cell in the drawing. Now, before I do that, just notice that the North directional is now called a shared cell, meaning that in this drawing and in this model, that cell has now become a shared cell. So when I place it in the drawing, I'll just place one instance of that and right-click. And now at this point, that cell, which was residing on the cell library, is now a shared cell, and its definition is stored in the current design file. Now, this is an important distinction between being in the design file or being in the cell library. Now, after this point, if you want to place that North sign again, you don't need the library attached to the design. So let's try that too. Let's go to File and Detach. That detaches the cell library. But notice that the North cell is still in the box, even though we have no cell library attached. Meaning, of course, that the North cell is part of this design file. So if we want to place that now, double-click it this time, which activates the placement, and I'm dragging the cell with me. Now, these are instances of the cell, which are coming from the stored definition in this design file. And of course, as I mentioned, the library cells have disappeared from the cell library box. Now, if you need to check whether a cell is shared or not, when you see a cell in a design, we use the selection arrow, select a cell, and right-click, go to Properties, and note that the description of the cell tells us that it's a shared cell, and it's the North cell. Now, I spent some time placing shared cells in your design, and later on we'll look at editing shared cells and how you can edit all shared cells of the same type in a design.